Morning, everyone. It's Tangible Tip Tuesday. I'm so glad to be with you today. And I've had this on my mind actually for quite some time. And I wanted to share this with you because it's such a powerful tip and it's so easy to follow. And it's easy to never forget this tip. And yet, so many of us do this to one another. And so many of us, pretend like it's not a big deal when it really is. And I wanted to share this with you because it's been on my mind a lot for about a year and a half or so. And it came into my space again yesterday through an article, and I'm going to share the article in the Facebook group as well. But I wanted to talk to you about this today because it's so important for your career. And here's the big tip, and I'll explain the perceptions behind it in a second as well. But the big tip here is always be 5 minutes early to any meeting that's important to you. And and when I say any meeting that's important to you, it's any relationship, any meeting that somebody else sets up, any meeting that you set up. It's because when you have committed to something like that, you are being your word to show up on time. And on time is 5 minutes early. And the reason why I say that, and I know that people have back-to-back meetings all the time, so don't get me wrong, I understand that there's always back-to-back meetings, but be clear with people when you need to leave a meeting. Be clear that there's another meeting to join. And here's the big thing. I've been hearing this a lot from different people that, a lot of the people who set up these meetings tend to be the ones that are late. Or somebody who's super high up thinks that they can be late by like 20 minutes and then everybody needs to fill them in. And it can lead to a lot of wasted time and a lot of wasted, lack of efficiency. It's not very profitable. Like, think about the amount of time if someone pays you $100 an hour and you miss 10 minutes of a meeting, and there are 5 other people who are also being paid $100 an hour and they have to catch you up. That's a lot of money being spent over that time that you have missed the meeting, and then other people need to fill you in on what they've already discussed and agreed to, right? So there's that aspect of it. It's also just plain disrespectful to a lot of people, and I know that this can be like very harsh to hear because it was very harsh on my ears the first time I heard it, but I realized that being on time, or at least when you've agreed to a certain time and you can't make that time, being clear with the person when you are going to be able to be there really helps a lot. And being honest and being clear before 5 minutes before the meeting. Don't wait until the last moment to cancel a meeting or to say that you're going to be late. Be completely honest when you will actually be available, and how much time it's taking. Because when you don't do that, it feels really inconsiderate to the other person. I once had a friend ask me to meet her at Union Station, which is the train station in Washington, D.C. She lives in New York. And she wanted to meet for coffee before her train, and she was 45 minutes behind schedule by the time that I said, I can't do this anymore and I gotta go. And she said that she was sorry, and I understood that she got caught in traffic or whatever, but what it really felt to me was inconsiderate because I had taken the time. I don't live anywhere near Union Station, and I had taken the time to figure out when do I need to be there in order to be there on time. And I felt completely unimportant to her. And whether or not that's true, I mean, that's my perception of it, right? Like, I know that I'm important to her because I'm a good friend of hers. I even went to her wedding last year. But it's the feeling of lack of importance in the moment because I took the time to get there on time and she didn't, right? And I know that we've all been there. I know we've all had that experience in our personal lives, but this also goes for our professional lives. It also can feel like we're less important in many other ways when we are forced to wait long periods of time for somebody else to show up for a meeting. some people do this intentionally to hold power. And I'm not saying that everybody does this, but it can be an ego boost to some people. And like, this is not to tell you to be angry at people during the day, but it's a choice of what you can do, how you can show that you feel you are being considerate, you are being respectful, you are humbling, in the sense that you are not trying to have a power grab over other people, and that you really care about the company and making a profit for the organization, right? All of these things are super important to remember, and you don't have to say it out loud to anybody. It's a way of being inside of yourself and saying, I am being my word because I said that I'm going to go to this meeting at 10 a.m. I will be there at 9:55, ready to go for the meeting so that everybody can feel like we're starting on time. And you can shift a whole group of people in doing that. You can shift the way other people view the importance of meetings. You can, you can leave a mark saying like, hey, I'm always ready and I'm always on time. And people are going to notice that difference. And when you do that so consistently, people are going to be like, man, she or he is really in it to win it, like is really ambitious, is committed, and it shifts the way people perceive one another. And I know that there are a lot of people who are inherently late. And this was a big discussion point in a coaching group that I was in. It was the very first coaching program I was a part of. And they made a very clear point: don't be late. And it's not about other people, really. It's about respect for yourself. And it's how you break promises with yourself. You have made an agreement with yourself that you'll be somewhere at a certain time. And when you break that promise, you feel bad about yourself, right? You feel bad and you say, oh, I'm really sorry that I kept you waiting, right? It doesn't help you. It makes you feel worse. And like, I get it that people can be a few minutes late here and there, and it happens, right? But it shouldn't be the norm. It shouldn't be the pattern that you hold to, especially in your career. Instead, you want to create an atmosphere where you dial into your conference calls on time. You show up early. You are promoting a brand for yourself where you really care. And the place that I really noticed this being important for me was in my very first job. Everybody in my first job when I was a legislative assistant on the Senate Banking Committee showed up, like rolled in around 9:30 a.m. They were working really long hours at the time. It was the financial crisis. But people noticed that I was showing up at 8. The first early risers, and I got complimented on it. I was told, wow, like she really cares, and like they say, we notice that you're in every single day at 8 o'clock. And that makes a really big difference. That's a perception, that's a personal brand thing. And then when they see me later down the road and I'm looking for a new job, guess who they're going to stick their neck out for? The person who's always on time, the person who's going to have them look good, the person who is ready to take on the next thing. It's a level of trust. It's a change in how people perceive you. And when you can acknowledge that for yourself, doesn't it just make sense to always be on time? And by on time, doesn't it always make sense to be 5 minutes early? Because that is going to create such a power for you in your career. Being 5 minutes early for an interview, a networking meeting, whatever the case may be, people will know you as the person who is on time, the person who is their word, the person who is in it to win it and wants to move forward and move up the career ladder fast. And I know it sounds like really teeny tiny, but these actions shift the way you feel about yourself and the way other people perceive you. And it is so, so critical. So I'm going to share the article later today with you. Let me know what you think of it. It's been creating a lot of buzz in other circles that I've been talking about it with. And it's been so important to acknowledge that for yourself, that when you are on time, you are respecting yourself and you're respecting everyone around you. So make that shift for yourself. Make that make that change in your body today to say, I am going to be on time. And when I'm not on time, I'm going to not just say my bad or like traffic sucked or something like that, but just be like, be honest and profusely sorry that you are late, and make sure that people know it won't happen again. Because when you are late consistently, people start shifting the way they view you and the way they treat you. And you want to be treated with the utmost respect. And the way that you start getting the utmost respect from others is by respecting yourself with this agreement that you will always be on time. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Put questions in the thread. I'd love to hear from you, and I can't wait to see what you create. Bye.